Yes, a very big welcome to you all. This is the GameFace Footy Show for the SFNL Division 1. A very big show for you. We've got in-stores. There's heaps. There's great people on the panel. I can't wait to meet and introduce you to those guys. We've got the Interleague captain, Danny Aids. He's in the studio. We're going to dissect everything that's happening with the Interleague as well, with the coach and the selector over here, and find out whether he's doing a good job with that. A thrilling finish to the grand final replay. Farewell to our Doggy Star and Young Guns Shine in Dingley's win. But let's get straight across to the panel because there's some great blokes in there, with the exception of this bloke. Will Hunter, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Yourself?
Very good. Ben Lockwood, how are you?
Yeah, very good.
Great to have you back, mate.
Yeah,
you're here some weeks you're not. What's going on?
Only missed one. Back now.
Right. And you've got your man next to you, so I'll let you introduce him because you've selected him. Who is he?
We have 2 years in a row. Danny Aids, obviously assistant coach of the Dingley Footy Club and also captain of the Interleague. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good on you, Danny. We'll get to you in a little minute, mate, because you've got a lot to talk about in this division because you know absolutely everything. You play against these guys, but we want to talk about, of course, St Paul's versus East Melbourne. What a game. St Paul's 11-6-72 defeated East Melbourne 10-11-71. A thriller, Will.
You couldn't ask for a better grand final replay than this one. I thought East Melbourne kicked themselves out of it with 1 goal 6 in the opening term, but in the end they came back and it was a bit of a seesawing affair. 1 point in it in the end, guys. Mackenzie Bristow had the opportunity to live out every kid's dream. Had the chance to kick a goal after the siren. A long kick inside 50 from Liam Sumner. Took a great mark, pretty close to the boundary line, maybe 40 out. Siren went a second later. He had the chance to win the game. Didn't miss by much.
Just missed. Just
missed. But it just an unbelievable game of footy, Robbo.
Oh, absolutely. You love that. I mean, unfortunately, it was close to the boundary line, but that was... I mean, that's what happened to me in the grand final last year in Div 3 when the Dovey boys won the granny. I was close to the boundary, 40 out, but I iced it. So that's why I got the Iceman nickname, Will.
That's it, mate. Not all sides can have Russell Robertson running around for them, but...
you know,
there you go.
I've got to clone myself. Boys, this is what the fans love to see. Close games like this in country football, suburban football, it's alive, isn't it, Lockers?
Yeah, very good. Obviously, great effort from St Paul's the week before. Port Colt's got them fairly comprehensively, but back on their own ground, big ground, wide spaces. They're a young running team, and they apparently their third quarter was fantastic. They turned it on. I think kicked 5 unanswered goals. Momentum in footy is a talked about thing, and obviously they got the momentum. And then the last quarter was an arm wrestle again. So I think East Melbourne, the 3 losses they've had, I think have all been under 10 points. So they're thereabouts, but they've got to start winning those close games.
Loving the look of the midfield combo of Paul Fry and Chris Carey in the ruck. Those two just put on an absolute clinic in the midfield. Throughout the afternoon, they were just simply outstanding. But St Paul's didn't really have too many players that had their colours lowered or that didn't have a massive impact. Krenborg stood tall. Spencer was good down back. Jimmy Zilla got dropped, I think, from Sandringham Zebs and had a pretty big impact. And Steve Muller just marked everything that was kicked in his vicinity, finished with 4. Tremendous game of footy.
Great effort. Hopefully Jimmy Zilla's available this week too for Interleague. But good effort. St Paul's a good side, really even across the board. So good win by them.
Well,
no doubt.
The top 6 teams there. I mean, probably even 7 teams. You could throw a blanket on them at the moment, couldn't you? And that's what makes this competition so good. Is that it's not just one team that are winning every single week. It could be any one of these guys to be there and figure in September.
Exactly right. And we sort of picked East Melbourne to go pretty close to winning the grand final, and I
think you picked them to win, Will.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I did. I certainly did. Not looking an awful pick. I mean, granted they're sitting outside the top 5 at the moment, but they've still got some pretty good players on that side, despite the loss of Luke Duffy. Danny, you played against them last week. What's your take on them?
No, they're always good. Different side again this year. Carey gives them first use, which is pretty important, and they feed really well off him. Duffy's going to be a huge loss, though, but they've picked up some players that'll cover pretty well. That Paul Fry's a good player. So, no, they're good. They're a good side.
Interesting sort of haircut he's running with the peroxide blonde up the top. Bit of a Jason Johansson look.
Oh, there's a few different haircuts getting around the comp at the minute, so... No, I've seen worse.
Absolutely. Let's get to the other results before we move into the ladder. And let's talk about that Interleague game. Dingley, 19-6-120 defeat. Bentley, 10-6-66. Will, you got some figures there for us? When you talk through that?
Well, it was Remy Faulkner-Wood stepped up from his impressive form in the under-19s, and I think it's his second senior game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Danny.
You're
First
wrong.
for the year.
You're wrong. He's played 2 years ago. He played some senior footy. He would have strung together, I guess, 3 or 4 games. Didn't play last year, and couldn't ignore him this year. So he's kicking bags every week. So had to get a gig.
Yeah, talk us through this kid. He's got a fair bit of talent.
Heaps. He's probably the most accurate shot on goal at the club. Like, Farms will hate me saying that. Actually, Troy Parker will probably hate that as well. But no, he's a really reliable set shot. Like, I get strapped pretty early, so the 9 are normally coming off, and I'm getting ready. Walks in, how many goals? He's like 9, 12, 7, like just bags every week. So no, he's a crafty forward.
Too good for the 19s comp.
Yeah, he probably is. But I won't pump him up too much.
What about the Dingley Junior? I mean, we talk about this a lot on Will, don't we, on the show? It is all about developing juniors into your club. What are you guys doing actively down there to make sure you're getting that next cream coming through?
Yeah, we're huge on that at Dingley. That's like one of our trademarks. So we try to have a really close relationship with the junior club. So, like, very regularly we'll have senior players go and attend junior sessions and give them a hand, and Shane's all over that stuff as well. So, no, it's Dingley's known as a community club, but that's true. Yeah. So we really look after him, because that's obviously where we find a lot of their talent.
It's fantastic to see. I know with my own son's club, which is in the Amos, you have the senior players coming, and to see them, look up to them like they're actually AFL players, it's wonderful to see, and it's great for that development. Keeps them at the club, and it's all in-house stuff. The other results there: Oakley Districts 15-7-97 defeated Port Colts, 22-16 defeated by Port Colts, 22-16 148. Cheltenham 21-11-137 roll on defeat St Kilda City 13-5-83, and Hyatt defeated by Mordialloc 10-18-78, 15-14-104. Hyatt with a solitary win, you can see down there on the bottom of the ladder at the moment. Dingley right up the top, doing it nicely with Mordialloc and Cheltenham. St Paul's, like we said, you can throw a blanket over those top 7 as they make their run into September. I know it's early days, but we're all thinking about that. We're also thinking at the moment, I mean, right in the collective thinking right now, is the team that is going to take on another competition. It's the before that, we'll get to Division 1 Team of the Week, and Danny Age is figuring again. Blackie's obviously doing some nice things there for the Dingoes. I'll get you boys to talk through the lines from back all the way through to the interchange. Go.
Yeah, have a crack at it, Lockers.
You got me to start, all right. Yeah. From backline, Traveller Rocker, who apparently played really well, best game for the year. Alex Spencer, swingman from St Paul's, and Nick Barry in the other back pocket. Half back, Sam Haslam. I think it's his second game up for Mordialloc. Come across from D-Lar this year with a pretty big reputation. Simon Black, Oakley Districts, very consistent player. Interleague rep, Mick Rogers on the half back flank. Across the centre line, Kai Owens, back from Sandy, so a young fella that plays really, really well. The skip next to me, Danny Age in the centre. Josh Ferguson from Dingley on the other wing. Half forwards, little Kel Cathcart. Must have rolled around and kicked 5, I think, on the weekend, so did well. The man who missed the shot at goal, Mackenzie Bristow, but I think that's probably his 3rd or 4th week in a row at centre half forward, so he's in pretty good form.
He's a star.
Yeah, good player.
Very good player. Matty Kremborg, 2-time Alice medalist on a half forward flank. Apparently was really good after half time on the ball.
Whenever he gets the footy, stuff happens, and you just sort of need a player like that in your side, especially when you're behind at half time.
Yeah, absolutely. Full forward line. Steve Muller kicked another 4. Very consistent player. Good mark. Big Will McTaggart, apparently playing with a sore knee. Kicked 8.
He's having a year.
He's having a big year. He got dropped about 3 times last year for Cheltenham. Ended up in the 2s, kicking about 16 and 17 a week. But he's an unbelievable kick of the footy. Chris Gleeson, tall full forward line. Wilbur, not sure where the pressure's coming from in this team, but anyway.
But there's plenty of goals, and I like to reward the blokes kicking bags.
Fair enough. In the ruck, Chris Carey again, no doubt the one of the better ruckmen going around in the comp, if not the best. His little 2'2" sidekick, Paul Fry, ruck roving, and Jack Worrell on the ball played a really good game, captain of Chelt. On the bench, Adam Kaplan, probably 4th, 5th game for the club, Danny.
Yeah, recruit from Ajax. He's played all his footy there, including juniors, and I've tried to get him across for years and finally got him across, and he's playing some good footy. Apparently
kicked goal of the year up to this date. One-handed pickup, smashed it from about 55.
Just ask him.
And Chris DeLuca just continues to roll on at Port Colts. We've spoken enough about him over the last few weeks. Very good player. Big Macklin Rain from height, all 140 kilo of him, big imposing man.
My mail is he was, despite the fact that Hyatt got beaten, probably best of field in that game. So he's been a very good pickup for the doggies.
And young Jimmy Ziller, back from Sandringham on the bench as well. So hopefully we get him this week in the Interleague.
No relation to the St Kilda
Son
champions.
of. And I can guarantee you the can sales at St Paul's on Saturday would have been unreal with Dirty being there. He can drink a can or 10.
Fantastic. Well done, Lockers. That was very comprehensive. Round 6 fixture and tips, please. I'm going to get through these games. Brought to you by MailSafe. No games at all, so I can't go through it. It is all about the Interleague. So let's go straight into this. You guys over there have worked very hard, especially the coach and the captain sitting on the panel. Who better to talk about this? Go for it.
Well, firstly, I might start off. Congratulations on the captaincy again, Truck. So you've obviously captained the side last year to a great win. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's pretty humbling. So definitely proud to be given the nod again. So more than happy to take the reins.
What does rep footy mean to you?
I've always really enjoyed it. I just really enjoy playing with players that you play against. Like some people probably don't. I really enjoy it. I get a lot out of it. I reckon it's a chance to learn a lot, and just thankful for the experience.
It was obviously a great experience last year with obviously the bus trip up to Port and spending that night bonding before the game. And
what about the bus trip home, Will?
Yeah, that's
any recollection of that?
Limited.
I'm not much good to you.
I've got to agree with Danny there because I played an interleague game for Geelong when I was down in the Geelong League there when I was captain coach, and it was one of the great experiences because you get to know the other players and how they go about it and understand that everyone, even though they are your enemy, they're all doing the same thing, and they're fantastic fellas, especially with the drink after the game. I know that, but there's a level of professionalism that comes with one of those interleague games, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. Like every player that gets selected can clearly play, so like they've all got their own little agendas and little pre-game rituals that you can learn something off. So as an individual, you gain a lot out of it, but then the whole experience I just find good. So,
Lockers, what about some key players, mate? You've been right up in there with the selection process. Talk to me about some guys that are playing really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the big fella next to me is playing terrific footy on ball, so we're going to have to be big and strong against Riddle. They'll be big again and imposing. So Danny's first 5 rounds this year have been fantastic. Obviously, guys we mentioned week in, week out, Lucas Swamsley from Dingley, the wingman Noodles, easily the best wingman in the comp in Division 1. Chris Carey in the ruck, we've spoken about him, he'll be key, but looking forward to a couple of the younger guys. Alex Spencer from St Paul's, 194, key forward, key back, can take a good mark.
Collingwood listed, VFL listed? Collingwood
listed, yeah, absolutely. So you've got him, and then guys like Daniel Vaughan, who didn't play last year, who's a fantastic player at Chelt. Backman who can, he's only probably about 5'10", 5'11", but can actually play on tall key position players. He's such a good mark overhead. So yeah, the depth's really good this year.
Yeah.
A lot of new guys in, but in saying that, I still think we'll probably have 9 to 10, maybe 11, up to 11 guys from last year that playing again. So that shows that they come back once they get involved.
And how's training going? How do you pull that all together too? Because by and large, people are coming from different areas.
Yeah, we trained, the previous 2 weeks have been Wednesday nights out at Springvale, which has been good. Really just to kick around, to be honest, the first 2 weeks. And then this week, tomorrow night, back at Moorabbin. So really this week is just like a normal club week for us for Interleague. We go Tuesday, Thursday, select the side Thursday night with the dinner afterwards, and then we jump on the bus Saturday morning and head up to Romsey Reserve or Romsey Park or wherever it is, other side of town, a little bit of a drive. And it's just a normal, like a club week this week, so we do a fair bit of work.
Well, I'll go to you, mate. The Riddle League we're taking on, you got your feelers out there and you know what's going on with a lot of leagues. How are the boys going to fare?
Well, I always have confidence in Lockers and Truck to get the job done. So they've put together a really good program over the last couple of weeks, last couple of years, I should say, and just seeing the way that all the boys sort of got around each other last year, and just seeing the culture that's been created through the leadership of the Interleague program suggests that they'll go a long way and really rise up the rankings in the years to come. So really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to a good day there. I did want to ask you though, how do you sort of find going from your club training to Interleague training and day to day during the week? Is it much of a difference?
Not really. Like I think for people that probably haven't done it before, and younger guys, I've got young Jake Carousella down there from Oakley, they get a little bit nervous, you know, so it might be a little bit different for some of the guys that haven't done it before, but otherwise, like you said, there's quite a few that have been there for a few years now, so I don't know, just enjoy it. So it's no real difference, I don't think. This week may be different, but because we're actually not going to be at our clubs, which we haven't done before, I don't think.
Oh, last year we did with the bye week. So sorry,
I
mate.
remember.
So correct you, but yeah. So this week's like a normal club week, really. We'll do a lot of match simulation tomorrow night and sort of work on a couple of real basic structures and a little bit of a game plan. But it's just going to be fast footy. Try and get it on the outside.
Yeah.
A couple of big guys in the to get first hands, Danny and a couple others. We've still got to be hard at the contest and get our hands on it. But once we get it outside and run.
How's this bloke been going as coach, do you reckon?
No, good. No, he's been
No
he's
good or
really
good?
That was no good, wasn't it?
That's what I heard.
No, really good. Yeah, and the whole coaching staff's good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Danny, we wish you all the best with the Interleague game, being the captain, and also all the best with your team back at Clubland as well. Dingley are obviously doing some nice things at the moment.
They are flying
at the moment in a very strong division. So we wish you all the best for the remainder of the year. It is fantastic to see, Lockers, what's going on with this Interleague stuff, because you look at the AFL, they're not doing it, they haven't done it for a good 20 odd years now. It's one of the shames, because I wish that I got to play for I was Tasmanian, obviously. You just love those Victorian versus South Australian clashes. You don't get to see it, but down the levels, you see it happening all the time, and you see the players embrace it, which is fantastic to see. Well done, Will. Great to have you here, mate.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. These guys have been fantastic. Again, we wish them luck. That has been the Footy Show, GameFace Footy Show for SFNL Division 1. We'll see you next week. Bye.